Our financial guru, Vera Gibbons, is here with the pros and cons. Good morning.
Good morning, Maggie.
So yeah, it's getting close.
Well, not too far away.
Who should file themselves?
Well, I think if your returns are simple, you have one job, you rent your place, you don't have any children, you're probably fine going it alone. However, if your returns are complicated, you've got a lot of investments, a lot of assets, you've got income from one area and you work in a different area, then you might want to consider hiring a pro. There's a lot of different changes. You want to make sure you're getting all the deductions and credits you're entitled to. Some people feel overwhelmed by the whole process, in which case they do hire a pro. This year, over 60% of us are going with a pro.
Let's say that you do make that decision to hire a pro. How do you find one, and what should you be looking for? I found the best way to do it, word of mouth.
Word of mouth is great.
Recommended his, I use him, I'm happy.
That's usually the way it works. I mean, a good pro is someone who has a good reputation in terms of fees, performance, reliability, availability. You should sit down with them. You should be asking a lot of questions. They shouldn't be dodging them. They should be answering your questions, willing to understand your whole tax situation. You also want to make sure they have some level of credentials, IRS certification, membership with a relevant trade association, state agency association with that. Some level of credentials is, in fact, a must, because this is an industry where there's not a whole lot of regulation. So in many states, just about anyone can hang a shingle and call themselves a pro,
right,
and do. So you do want to be careful when you're hiring a pro, and word of mouth is the best place to start.
And
obviously.
Isn't that true with the large franchises, that sometimes you get people who are great and other times you don't?
Not a lot of quality control at the large franchises. A lot of seasonal employees. Some are good, some aren't.
So you take that risk.
You take that risk.
Right.
Now, at a franchise firm, that'll cost you on average about a couple $100, but the national averages for a very basic return is about $129, $229 if you're itemizing your return. This is a national average. It's up about 10%, a little more than 10% from a couple of years ago. But if you go with a boutique firm and your taxes are complicated, you've got all sorts of different things in motion here, could cost you 5 to 10 times that. So you do want to get an estimate up front. And when you go in there and talk to your pro, you want to have all your paperwork together, because if you don't, you'll delay the process and it'll end up costing you more. So they should give you an estimate of how much it will cost, or should they tell you how much they will charge per hour? Well, some do it by the project and some do it by the hour, but you should get a ballpark figure so there are no surprises.
And so you have to make sure that your accountant is up on the tax law, because it changes so frequently, doesn't it?
And this year in particular, there are so many different breaks that you want to make sure that you're actually getting. Some of the tax software programs are a good way to go as well if you don't want to go with a pro. TurboTax has about 80% of the market. 20 million customers used it last year. They have the deluxe version. It's $59.95 for both the state and the federal. H&R Block also has a program. There's also Tax Act. And I should also point out that you might be eligible for Free File. If you made $57,000 or less in 2009, you could be eligible. You want to go to irs.gov/free file. That's simple and free.
We like it. Vera, thank you so much.
Thanks, Maggie.
We'll put all of this, of course, on the web. It's earlyshow.cbsnews.com. Actually, cbsmoneywatch.com as well. You'll find it there.